What's up, dude? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? Today's video is very interesting. I googled the strangest objects that people have been murdered with, as one does, and the one that we are going to talk about today is about a bowling ball. It's a really interesting story, actually, and when I was googling this, I found a lot of really odd objects, but the cases, I think, were so obscure that there's just not a ton of information about some of them. So if you guys enjoy this video, let me know in the comments down below, because this might be something new that I start doing more, is just finding odd objects that people have been murdered with, because I found it really interesting, but I want to know what you guys think, because your input means a lot to me, and it really influences what I do on my channel. So that being said, let's jump into today's case. On February 1st, 1994, in Jersey City, New Jersey, 18-year-old Calvin J. Settle was arrested for dropping a bowling ball off a highway overpass for the Holland Tunnel. When he dropped the ball, it bounced through the windshield of a family's car. They had been coming home from Brooklyn. It was just a routine trip for the family. They were coming back from a home that they shared with another couple in Ellenville, New Jersey, or excuse me, not New Jersey, New York. That night, Santos, 43, was driving the car, and his wife, Donna, 41, was sitting in the passenger seat. Santos recalled seeing a round object bounce off a Mack truck going in the opposite direction and fly over the divider. Initially, he thought that the ball had hit their windshield and then bounced away from their car, but after he pulled the car over on the side of the road, he realized that that was not, in fact, the case. In the car was 8-month-old Natalia Rivers, who unfortunately was hit by the 16-pound Brunswick Black Beauty that had the name Mike etched into it. Apparently, the ball bounced in front of an 18-wheel truck and bounced off its bumper before flying across the highway divider and through the family's windshield of their car. It was chaos, he said. She was such a beautiful child. That's what Santos said about his daughter. And even while my baby was dying, she had a presence. She squeezed my hand, and when I spoke to her, her heartbeat went up. The truth is, he added, she was hit by a 16-pound projectile. She never had a chance, which it's unfortunate, but he's totally right. Before Calvin was arrested, a conservative watchdog group suggested that he had maybe gotten the idea from an episode of Beavis and Butthead. There's an episode where the characters drop a bowling ball off of a roof.
1, 2, 3. Whoa. This bowling ball isn't human. It doesn't feel pain. It can't be reasoned with.
I hope there's a human head inside.
Yeah. Or maybe a human butt.
What about all those people on the sidewalk?
Don't worry, dude. They'll move. It didn't even blow.
That sucks.
We're not saying there is a connection, but certainly the coincidence is difficult to ignore, morality and media spokeswoman Betty Ween said. Okay, here's the thing about that though. People love dropping shit off of elevated surfaces. It's fun to see how something is going to break. Genuinely, I'm sure that's what he thought. I really, really doubt that an episode of Beavis and Butthead had anything to do with it. It's kind of like the same reason people like watching rocks being thrown off of bridges into like rivers. We like to see the splash it's gonna make. It's the same reason we like to break ice. You want to see how it's going to break. I think it's just kind of human nature to see what's going to happen. So genuinely, I don't think that a TV show had much to any influence over this 18-year-old. MTV received calls to their public affairs offices, but they didn't respond, and at the time of Calvin's arrest, there was no indication that he had been questioned about the show, so honestly, it's just a theory that some people have. There's no evidence or proof that it actually influenced them. Calvin had lived in Jersey City for at least 3 years, and he had been working 16 hours on the weekends as a food service aide at Christ Hospital. He was enrolled into a program administered by Volunteers of America called Synergy. The program helps older teenagers who have had troubled emotional or family histories to live on their own. So at least he was trying to better himself. I mean, he was in a program to be able to learn how to live on his own. I think that's a huge step forward, you know? It's unclear how long he was in the program, and the specifics of what sent him into the program are unclear, but genuinely I feel like that's no one's business but his own if he so chooses to keep it private. His caseworker overheard him telling someone over the phone about the incident with the bowling ball. The caseworker, Hawaiian Thompson, filed a police report, and then a short time later, Calvin was arrested at his apartment. The building superintendent claimed that Calvin had attacked him with a barbell because he refused to open the laundry room in the basement late at night. Apparently, the police responded, but they didn't charge him. So that kind of leads me to think, like, was that really the case? Like, did that for real happen? But also, I don't want to dismiss a claim made by a victim. Another resident, also enrolled in Synergy, said that Calvin was aggressive at times. The man, who would not give his full name, said, "I think he had some problems. He got into a lot of arguments with the staff," according to the original article published by the New York Times. Calvin was arrested on a homicide charge for dropping the bowling ball off the overpass. He told the arresting officers that his friends were helping him clean his apartment, and they found a broken glass frame that had a photo of Michael Jordan in it. They went outside to throw it away, and that's when they found the bowling ball. They rolled it over the road through a backyard and then to the nearby state highway. Calvin said he picked it up and pressed it against the barrier. He added that he leaned over the railing with his body, and that's what caused the ball to fall from the railing onto the depressed highway, the police report said. The fall was about 15 to 20 feet. Natalia's parents, Santos and Donna, were not injured. Santos Jr., 3 years old, was in the back seat with his sister, but amazingly, he wasn't injured. Natalia suffered severe head injuries as the ball had landed on her head, unfortunately, and she passed away a few hours later at University Hospital in Newark. People say, "Do you want to rip his face off? But what good would that do?" Santos Rivera said, speaking from the funeral home in Sunset Park where a wake had been held for their daughter. "Did my daughter die for that? I don't think so." Santos and Donna plan to push legislation to mandate that fences be put along the highway overpasses, which I really think is a fantastic thing. And they were psychotherapists. So if they're going to understand, like, why someone does something, or, like, understand that there might have been more factors that went into the decision to throw the bowling ball over the overpass instead of just trying to hurt somebody, you know, like, they probably realized a kid made a dumb decision. It wasn't his intention to actually hurt anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make it seem like what Calvin did was okay, but I'm just saying, like, he was an 18-year-old. He did something stupid, and he lived with that for the rest of his life. I think that's as good a punishment as any. The most important message is that we're all vulnerable to this kind of senseless crime, and it was preventable, Santos said. Calvin was charged with criminal homicide and was held on a $150,000 bail. Prosecutors wanted the case to be presented in front of a grand jury who would decide whether to charge him with murder or reduce his charge to manslaughter. Calvin did have an arrest record. His lawyer, Adam Jacobs, told the judge that the arresting officers didn't read Calvin his Miranda rights before they interviewed him. He also said that there were others involved in the attack and that they should be investigated as well. However, Carmen Massano, the Hudson County prosecutor, said that Calvin was the sole perpetrator. I agree, like, if he's the one that actually tossed the bowling ball, he should be the only one that was interviewed and looked into. Now, okay, again, what I'm saying is not that Calvin shouldn't be blamed for any of this. He absolutely should be. I honestly don't even know what how many years in jail he had to serve, but he was charged with criminal homicide. Like, that's not nothing. And I think it's really amazing that that Santos and Donna were like, no, actually, we just need more safety measures to be put in case, or to be put in use. So I think their outlook on it is the right outlook. Like, yes, this was absolutely a senseless crime. That's sad. It never should have happened. Calvin should be punished, and I feel like he was. but also, like, let's figure out how to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people. I think that's the right way to go about things. And honestly, mad respect to them for just being like, yeah, it was dumb and it's unfortunate, but we are going to make sure that our daughter's life was taken for something good. Like, she didn't just die in vain. They were helping to put in place more safety measures, which is incredible. And honestly, their story might have a big part in why we do have more safety railings and whatnot put up on overpasses. I wouldn't be surprised. So at least they did something good with their very unfortunate circumstance. If you guys found this video interesting, comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know what you find, like, interesting or kind of odd about this case. I just want to know your guys' thoughts. But that is it for me today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back tomorrow with another True Crime Courier video. I'm not 1,000,000% sure what I'm going to do yet, but I promise that I will try to find interesting cases for you guys to hear about and to be able to voice your opinions on said cases. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!